Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Risk tolerance and risk aversion are commonly manifested when investing. And that certainly was the case with two of my clients. I do want to say up front, I'm just a career and personal coach. I am not a licensed financial advisor. These are the thoughts of a career and personal coach, even though I get in the weeds a little bit because I felt I had to. But when you're making certainly a significant investment decision, as they say, you should talk to a licensed professional. Well, a client of mine said something like this: I haven't been able to get much of a job, so I've taken up day trading stocks. I've been at it for a year and done pretty well, plus I enjoy the game of it and the adrenaline rush, but my wife is begging me to stop. And here's my response. Your wife is probably right. The stock market has risen in the past year, so it was easier to do well. But a review of the literature estimates that more than 96% of day traders end up losing money, let alone making more than what they would have on a job. Even if you day trade full-time and stay with it through the 6-month to 1-year learning curve, your chances of making 10% net on your money still only rise to 8 to 10%. So in other words, you only have an 8 to 10% chance of making 10% on your money. Remember, you have to subtract the buy-ask spread and the commission cost from each trade. So even if you fully invested $100,000 for the entire year and you defy the odds and succeed, you'd only earn $10,000. You can make more money working in a fast food restaurant. And in that you said you aren't able to get much of a job and your wife is begging you to stop day trading, implies that you're not independently wealthy. If that's so, you can't afford to not make a living income, let alone lose your savings. Then there's the issue of intrinsic reward. It's hard to claim that day trading helps people. Most jobs, even if you're just making a widget, does help people. And finally, there's the stress. Day trading is highly stressful, certainly not healthy. If you want an adrenaline rush, play video games. But it's wiser to look at why you haven't landed a good job. Have you chosen a job target that's likely to yield good work? Have you taken the typical few months of serious job searching, mainly using your likely most successful method, your network, cold contacting target employers, or answering ads? And when you've gotten interviews, have you prepared moderately, but not so much that you're stiff or seem scripted? Now let's turn to a risk-averse client. This was a client I just had yesterday. He said something like, everyone says you should put most of your savings not in a bank, but in a low-cost mutual fund, or ETF. That stands for exchange traded funds. It's a market basket of stocks that you can buy and sell like a stock. So some years ago, I invested, this is not me again, this is the client, I invested $6,500 in an ETF that consisted of the 500 largest U.S. companies. That's the S&P 500. I was excited when it went up to $8,000, but then it went down to $6,300. I couldn't handle the stress, so I closed the account and put the money back in a bank, even though the interest is now just 1/2 of 1%. Well, here's a paraphrase of my response. While past performance is no guarantee of future results, are you aware that although stocks can and do decline at times, over time they have risen far more than if you kept your money in the bank? Unless you'll likely need the money within a year or so, the standard advice is reasonable. Invest in a low-cost ETF or an all-in-one mutual fund. That's a blend of stocks and bonds. Try to be patient, riding out the declines. That said, some people just can't stomach that risk and/or believe that the future may be worse than the past. Indeed, some people believe that the American economy is a bubble ready to burst. No one can guarantee the future, so you may just have to make the bet that you're comfortable with. The takeaway? Of course, your level of risk tolerance can manifest not just in investing. Take a moment to inventory the level of risk you've assumed, not just in investing, but in relationships, in adventure sports, substance abuse, and alas, in avoiding COVID. Is there anything you want to change? In any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.